Hey everybody, it's Mr. Loose, and your technique of the week is proportion and balance. Proportion and balance are two principles of design, and these are useful tools to make your artwork even stronger. So the first one, proportion, is just the way that things relate to each other in size. So the first example that I have for y'all is my little box guy that I have in front of a city skyline. Now we know that with the person in the foreground and the city behind him, we can assume that the city is far away in the distance because things get further, or as things get smaller as they get further, right? So it's safe to say that even by this simple little line drawing, we know that this is a regular sized dude who's looking at a city in a faraway distance. Now, we could, however, alternate the picture to where this person looks like they're even bigger and they are not looking at the city from far away, but they are actually a monster or a giant or an alien taking over the city, and they actually are that big compared to the buildings, and they're not in the distance. So that's just really all that proportion is. It's how things relate to each other in size. Now, when we are talking specifically about sculptures or anything three-dimensional, how the size of those objects relate to you is also proportion. So if someone was to create a giant pumpkin, then it's not a typical proportionate size for a pumpkin, but we're still talking about proportion, even though it's a sculpture. So if it's really big and how it compares to you, for example, like I have here, that is another example. Next, we're going to talk about balance. And balance is the visual weight of things. So we have symmetrical, asymmetrical, and radial symmetry. Symmetrical is basically if I cut something down the middle, everything either looks exactly the same on both sides, or there's an equal amount of weight. So if there was a tree on the left side of a painting and the tree on the right side of the painting, that would be symmetrical balance. But if I had a tree on the left side of the painting and then a short bush on the right side of the painting, then that would be asymmetrical balance. They're not the same. It's not equal. Okay, so that's what I did here. If both things are equal, then it's symmetrical on our little scale visually. And if one thing is different than the other, then it is asymmetrical and it's not going to be balanced. All right. And then another example of symmetry is radial symmetry. And radial symmetry is when something is balanced or even, but it goes in a circle. Okay, so that is radial symmetry.